Don't put him on in this event for the world has to see, so they have to call me. And don't bring him into my games.
Allegedly the voice of Los Angeles Clippers owner Donald Sterling lashing out at his former mistress after she posted a picture of herself with NBA legend Magic Johnson on Instagram. Sterling's comments, as we talked about, taken the nation by storm. Unfortunately, not the first time we have seen this happen. Remember sports commentator Jimmy the Greek Snyder? His comments about African Americans cost him his job.
If they take over coaching like everybody wants them to, there's not going to be anything left for the white people. I mean, all the players are black. I mean, the only thing that the whites control is the coaching jobs. Now, I'm not being derogatory about it, but that's all that's left for them.
Snyder also hinted that black athletes were bred through slavery for their physical abilities, and that was the end of Jimmy the Greek. We really never heard from him again. And then there were the comments made by former Dodgers player and general manager Al Campanis, whose racist remarks aired on a Nightline special that coincided with the 40th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's debut in baseball.
There are a lot of black players, there are a lot of great black baseball men who would dearly love to be in managerial positions. And I guess what I'm really asking you is to, peel it away a little bit. Just tell me, why do you think it is? Is there still that much prejudice in baseball today?
No, I don't believe it's prejudice. I truly believe that they may not have some of the necessities to be, let's say, a field manager or perhaps a general manager.
You really believe that?
Well, I don't say that they're all of them, but they certainly are short. How many quarterbacks do you have? How many pitchers do you have that are black? It's same
but I mean,
applies.
I got to tell you, that sounds like the same kind of garbage we were hearing 40 years ago about players when they were saying, not really cut out. You remember the days, they hit a black football player in the knees, and no, that really sounds like garbage if you forget my saying.
The irony there is that Campanis, he was fired by the Dodgers, but then he was hired by Major League Baseball. And the commissioner of baseball at the time said, if we're going to solve these problems, we need to hear from the Al Campanises of the world so that we know how to overcome them. Is there any, is Donald Sterling just done? Is there any similarity? Is there a similar outcome for him like there was for Campanis?
I don't think he's going to get a job with the NBA anytime soon, let's put it that way. I think that he will probably see a suspension tomorrow, probably a year-long suspension. It's difficult to force him to sell the team.
Can they force him out?
Well, they can't. They could force him out. You talked earlier about all the sponsors who are withdrawing, right? They can have players can choose not to come here. There is one avenue which it's difficult to sort out how well it could work, but if they could show that it's the hostile work environment, you could declare that his players and all the staff for that matter are free agents, and then they'd be free to resign or not. But again, to me, the biggest, wherever he goes now, he is deservedly so Donald Sterling the racist, and he had more money than he'll ever know what to do with, so it doesn't really matter what the sanctions are in a sense.
Short of the remedy that you were talking about, a hostile work environment, do the players have any leverage here whatsoever? Can a player who's under contract with the Clippers say, I don't want to work for this guy?
Well, under normal circumstances, you can't, so you'd have to show something like that. Remember, these guys, they're just players who woke up yesterday morning ready in the middle of a playoff series and wanted to go play Golden State. They had their protest on the field, but they played because this is what they do for a living. They've waited all year to get here. They have a good team. They want to be together and play. And some guy who they barely know is spouting off like that, and who they're in this very difficult position. But they would be further victimized if they're expected to now give up their livelihood.
But let's be honest about it. The first thing the athletes are told, professional athletes, don't comment on politics. Stay away from politics. Don't discuss anything controversial. So these players, the league that is predominantly African American, they are under contract. You make a very good point. But nobody's going to want to go to the Clippers. He's got to go. There's no other way to put it. The league does not have a provision to force him out, but there are other ways. There will be no sponsors because
he's toast.
He's done. He's got to sell the team. And here's a broader question that I have that I really don't understand. Okay, he has his views. That's one idiot with his views. Okay, he ain't the only owner that thinks that way. Most of them know how to keep their opinion to themselves. I'm not to say that they feel exactly the way he does. Here's the question that I have: why would you make these disparaging comments to your girlfriend who happens to be African American and Mexican American. Why would you do that? She's half black.
Well, Donald Sterling is also the son of immigrant Jews. He's 80 years old, so that takes us back to 1933. I think he knows something about, or should know a little bit about what it means what discrimination is. There's no accounting for that kind of behavior. I don't think there's any way to rationalize it.
I think the worst thing someone could ever say to me would be that I was a traitor to my country. The second worst thing would be to say that I was a racist. And I think that, frankly, the sponsors are going to walk away. I think some of his players are going to refuse to come back next year if the team isn't sold. I think he's finished.
Kostya, does the NBA's biggest revenue stream, or one of them, is certainly from their TV contract.
Right.
Does ABC, ESPN, does Disney have a say in any of this? If they put pressure on the NBA?
Well, look, I think everybody's going to wait and see what Adam Silver, the brand new commissioner of the NBA, does tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll see, and that will answer a lot of questions. But look, nobody is going to line up behind Donald Sterling. Everybody's going to do whatever in their power to oust him, as we're talking about. At the same time, without making the team itself, the players and the people around it, you don't want to make them victims anymore already. So, we'll see.
What I was going to say was the NBA, I mean, I understand he's a new commissioner. They're surprised by this?
Oh, sure. I mean,
how can that be given his history? I mean, this is part of the issue. As Dominic mentioned, this is not,
right.
I mean, this is not something, it came out in this tape because she is, trying to extort the wife or whatever is going on personally, but is the NBA really get let off the hook? They're going to get rid of this guy some way, or the marketplace is going to do it, and we're going to all move on.
No, you're right.
They've taken absolutely no steps to
address
these issues. Yeah, he absolutely shouldn't have been.
The one group we haven't addressed at all, and we're running out of time, unfortunately, the fans. I mean, the fans of the LA Clippers have been suffering for so long just from a bad basketball team. Now they're in the playoffs. And this happens. I mean, who's going to want to
support the players? They should go to support black and white players.
But they're still supporting the team when they do that. They're
they
buying
should go
tickets,
to support
giving
the
money
players.
to the team, to the owner.
The solution to me is these players should go out and play, finish the season, and then refuse to be part of the team next year.
All right, Kostya Kennedy, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Good.
We're going to take a break here on RFL. When we come back, the feds take a closer look at Mayor Bill de Blasio's pledge to ban horse carriages. Did he play a role in the push to take down his former challenger, Christine Quinn? We're going to get into that next.